pounds, ready to go play with Westminster Titans like I used to. Then I go to the doctor's office and stand on the scale. The survey is kind of has a scale effect. The survey has a scale effect because it holds the mirror up to the congregation. One of the neat things that's going to happen here is that we'll see who we are. And then it's going to take, let me tell you what my experience is. It's going to take us a little time to get used to that idea, like when I stand on the scale. Okay? Because we sort of have each one of us has an idea of what Glory Today is and who we are. When you see this survey, my hunch is that it's going to give you some good information to say, as we get ready to go and look for a senior pastor. So that's really a cool thing about this. And my hope is, my prayer is, that out of that process there will become such reinforced clarity that will have a cohesiveness as we move forward.
So the way I'd like to see it done is that we have a presentation to the congregation, that we constitute the call committee, and then we have a presentation to the congregation. And that way that call committee can see the kind of reactions and get the kind of inputs that they have to bring forward when they deliberate their activities. So that's probably the sequence about how that'll play out in July. Is we'll do something with the congregation. We'll form the call committee, then we'll do something with the congregation. Then that call committee can be trained by the Synod, and then we would, in earnest, start receiving some kind of inputs on that in the August time frame, and then start really deliberating in the end of August, September time frame.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Question? Okay. Others? I have a list, and I'm going to use it.
I saw some of the trucks, Joe. How are we doing on the landfill?
We're doing very well, actually, and I will tell you right up front that God has been good to us, because if it had not been for that landfill and the revenues that we received from that, we might be in a very different situation over there in terms of deliberating congregationally what we're going to do with the land. But the dredging, I just talked with Keith, and Keith said on the 1st of April, we hit a high of, what, 100 and some odd trucks?
102 truckloads.
102 truckloads in one day. So we have done very well with the city. There have been some other smaller contracts that we've had where folks have deposited items in and the revenues from that are anticipated. We haven't received everything, but when all is said and done from the city work, we anticipate about $122,000 to be received. 20,000 of which we'll have to pay bills for what we put into it in order to prepare the land and manage it and do all that stuff. So at the end of the day, as far as the dredging operations, we should have about $102,000 of revenue available to the church. So the dredging, the land operation, the dredging and the dumping has gone very well. And hats off to Keith, obviously. He's been managing all of that and was there on that fateful day when 102 trucks showed up.
You all can imagine from, I'd like to speak as pastor for a moment here. You know, we get these phone calls, and I'm a great believer that they should be handled by Keith. And he has done a fabulous job. It has been hard duty, hard duty, and I am so grateful for you, Keith. And you've gotten to know all the neighbors so well.
Well, actually, it's the other way around, because he was missing mud early on, but when the temperatures got hot, it just turned to dust over there, so he was the watering mister over there.
And it's a little known fact, but we are responsible what happened in Iceland.
Any follow-on questions on the dredging? Okay, here's a follow-on question. Okay, so what are we going to do with that $102,000? Somebody care about that? All right. Council is going to take action on that. We had some discussions at XADCOM. There are a variety of things that we would like to do, and obviously council will deliberate on that. But there are some bills to be paid, and we're going to pay them with the 102. And as I said, yeah, as I said, if we, you know, God was good to us, because if we hadn't had that revenue, we would have been in a very different situation, particularly with the land. But the bills that are going to be paid is, we are, as you know, the building fund has not been receiving as much offerings as are required to pay the debt that we have. So we have been drawing down on a savings account, on a reserve account, if you will. But that reserve account has a finite, finite payment schedule there, and in reality, that payment schedule was due to zero out sometime this summer. So with the additional revenue, we're going to put enough money back in the building account to continue to move us on in terms of being able to pay the bills, in particular the land bill that we have. So there's a certain amount of money there. We do want to put some money into the land itself to do some maintenance and improvements to the Rice property. There is a certain amount that we would like to pay down our credit lines so that, basically we're going to pay less in terms of interest and in terms of actual monthly payments to our loans, our lines of credit that we have. So there's a certain portion that's going to that, and there's some other allocations there that I won't discuss until they're actually approved by council. But there is a game plan for how we use that revenue. Some of it will be put in reserve, pure reserve, where we're just sitting there waiting just in case something happens and we have a problem and we need to deal with that. So there is a plan for the revenue. Council is going to consider that this week, and then obviously we will act on it based on council's recommendation.
Is Christensen paid off?
He is not, Dr. Christmas is not paid off, and if you remember when we spoke about that about 3 months ago or so, he has provided his services to us, and he is due a certain amount for that particular period when he provided services. As it stands now, he is not providing any additional services to us, so he is not owed anything new. What we owe him is for past work that was done. And by agreement between both he and the church, we have been paying him off a portion at a time, about $1,000 a month. A portion of the revenue we would propose to pay him down. I don't know that it will pay him totally, but we propose to use a portion of the revenue in order to pay him so that we're not paying out every month. So, but Dr. Christmas still is owed money for the work that he did, and we have been paying him, but we plan on using some of the revenue to pay that down. Yep. Thank you.
What about the school?
In terms of
Money.
what, how's their budget
Yeah,
looking?
we got from them that we owe them.
Oh, okay. As it stands right now, we're not using any of the, we're not planning on using any of the dredging revenue to pay back the school. We're paying back the church in a sense. But I will tell you that this last year we've done a lot of cross-sharing, more in terms of finances, more so than we've ever done before. So what does that mean? Well, there are things that the church is paying, or we anticipate they pay in the fiscal year 11 budget that we haven't paid before, relieving the school of having to pay those particular bills. So the redistribution, in a sense, is meant to help the school out in a slightly different way. Now,